the beers are brewed in Hindley and Wigan. This is just a small range of the beers that we do. This is our Whitby themed beers, as you can see with the labels, and we've brought some of our others that we do at the brewery, like the Lemonhead. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we've got a range running right through from our hoppy session ales right through over to a more light, fresh session beers, and our more lighter amber ales. And then we've got down there our stout, which is an award-winning stout and has won quite a few awards in its time. It's not too heavy a stout. It's a little bit chocolatey with a slightly smoky undertone as well. So a little bit lighter than what you would think your Guinness and your Macketons and things like that. And quite a lot of people like it from that reason. Yeah. So.
Where generally can people find you if they want to get a hold of you and see the range?
They can find Mayflower Microbrewery Limited on Facebook. We have an excellent website that's up. You can purchase items directly online. Facebook, certainly, we've got both that set up as well, as we have for the Cheeky Beers, which is the company working under the umbrella of Mayflower, which is more for events like this. It's more for the stalls, the beer festivals, things like that, and the Christmas markets. So that's where the Cheeky Beers side of it comes in. So and we have a little vehicle as well, which is like a pop-up bar. So we're quite busy, and our network's moving quite further away from Wigan and Bolton and Manchester. It's moving up to Skipton, and it's moving out into Cumbria and Cheshire and South Cheshire. So it's radiating out. The radius is getting big. So yes, we'll put them coming.
Lots of themed beers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you sell them at specific times of year, or are they available all year round?
Available all the year round. One thing that we do, and it's you can see it on the website, is we actually we do custom labels. So if any individual's got a particular party coming up, or it's like Uncle Billy's 60th, we can put a picture of Uncle Billy in the middle of the label, or the clip that goes on the front of the hand pump, and we can customise labels for that particular party. And Mark and myself, the head brewer, we can take the casks, the full 72-pint cask, or the pin, a half-size cask at 33 pints, and we can take them to the customers' houses and set them up, let them settle for 24 hours, and then they've got their own cask on stillage, and that goes down very well at the parties, Yeah, and that brings in the custom clips as well. You see, because then all the family and friends go into the party. They've got a little bar set up. So we've got all sorts of things going on. There's another good thing that we do as well. There's a colleague of mine. He does all the bespoke side of the company. So we will go to surrounding golf clubs, cricket clubs, venues like that, and if there's a captain's day at the golf clubs, they'll do a particular bottle or cask for that. It's just the world's our oyster, really. We're just doing things like that basically, and it's fabulous, and everybody's really in for real cask ales with that personal handmade touch. So it's been very successful.
What do you think's been your most popular one so far for the Whitby Goth scene?
For the Whitby Goth scene, the stout's been very popular. The stout has been very popular, and this one's been very popular, which is the Zombie. But it's such a good ale, a good session ale. Such a good ale. You can never tell at events which beer is going to go best. Sometimes stout just does not move. I know yesterday apparently it was very popular, and we have sold quite a few today, haven't we? But certainly the Zombie and certainly the Frank and Stein have gone down really well as well. Those are the two. But it's down to the customer's preference and palate, isn't it? They like something hoppy or But we've had some wonderful fun designing the labels, and we're all fans of this genre of the horror. Yeah, and it does help. Yeah. And we're very good with the puns and the play on words. And another thing that's helped us as well is we're all into amateur dramatics, so we're good with, we're good with the puns and the play on words and the things like that, and it helps. It does, yeah. I say Peter and myself, and Janice, we're big Dracula fans and that genre in film, so it does help. It does. It puts them on a good stead. Yeah.
How many times have you done the Whitby Goth?
This is the first one.
It's the first one.
It's the first one, and it won't be the last. We're really enjoying it. Yeah, we're really enjoying it. I think we were trying to get here before I joined the company. I think they tried to get in last year, and I don't think it come off. I don't think they were successful with the stall, but we had everything geared up. So, but we've been successful this year. We're going to the Brunswick. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and we'll make sure we're back next year. Twice a year, I believe, the Whitby Goth weekend.
I believe in recent years, I think the last 2 or 3 years, I was told they've now do one in
April, spring.
Yeah.
Yep, am I right?
Right. So we only found that out recently ourselves as well. So it's good to know.
Yeah. So, watch this space. We'll be back again in spring. Hopefully, we'll make some inquiries and get back. Yeah.
How many times have you been to the Whitby Goth weekend?
I'd probably say about 10 times or more. This will be their about third time, but they've only been little when I brought them, so now they're a bit bigger.
Is it good for the family? I've seen quite a lot of smaller ones around.
Absolutely brilliant. The kids like dressing up and they like all the attentions. So yeah, you enjoy it, don't you guys?
Yeah. Well, you've all gone for such different styles. Where do you get your inspiration for all your different outfits for the Goth weekend?
Anything weird, unusual, Tim Burton, anything Victorian. There's all sorts, isn't there?
Yeah, what about you guys?
Yeah, it's like steampunk, so it's very unusual.
And it helps the fact that Mum's got a load of clothes in her wardrobe.
Oh, absolutely. That always helps. Where do you tend to get your outfits? A bit of a mixture? Do you get some of them around Whitby during the weekends?
Yeah, buy some through Whitby, eBay, custom made, get stuff from abroad, like off like Wish and other apps that we see. It's just basically charity shop and then just make your own. Makes life a lot easier if you can see something you can custom to do it all you want.
And for people thinking of bringing their kids to the weekend, is there anything you'd specifically recommend going to see as a group?
Abbey probably.
Go up to the Abbey, and if you can get up to the Spa and the other markets and have a look around and all the other little tiny events that are dotted here, there and everywhere. Yeah, it's just one of them type of weekends that the family will enjoy. These, I've never not liked it.
You've come for quite a few years, both of you as well?
Yeah, 3 years. Yeah, 3 years.
Brilliant. How many times have you been to the Whitby Goth weekend?
About 2 times, I think, this being the second.
When was the first time you heard about it? How did you find out that it was going on?
It was a couple of years ago. I heard it from a friend that it was going on and thought I should check it out.
What's been your favourite thing you've seen so far at one of the weekends?
Gotta say, the variety of outfits is quite impressive. Yeah, that's probably one thing.
What kind of events would you recommend for someone who's coming for the first time?
I would just recommend walking around and seeing it all. It's a bit of fun,
And what inspiration did you take for your outfit? Because it's quite a wee mixture you've got there, which is quite nice.
I tried going for a basic Victorian, but then I added on to that, making it more steampunk over time.
Steampunk's definitely increasing in popularity. Would you say that you'll probably gravitate more towards that in future, or is it predominantly the Victorian feel that you tend to go for?
Generally Victorian for me, but I do like adding little aspects of steampunk to make it a bit more fun.
How many times have you been to the Whitby Goth weekend?
This is our first time.
Yes.
We've never tried it before. So
Same for us too.
We saw everybody wandering around and thought, oh, I quite fancy that. And here we are.
That was in the spring, and we thought, so we had nothing, we had a hat and a waistcoat between us. But on the day, so then when it was coming up this time, we thought, let's go silly and do it.
Quite right.
Absolutely.
So far, what have you liked best?
We just got off the bus.
Yeah, the fact that it didn't rain after 2 o'clock yesterday. Yeah. And we went to the Illumination Day Derby last night as well, and it was really good as well. So, and we like Whitby anyway.
Yeah, do you generally come through anyway now and again just for the beach and stuff?
We've been here about 5 times.
5 times usually. We stay just outside
We rent a
Whitby. We've got
cottage
a
just up
cottage
the
out
road.
there, so it's quite nice.
Handy.
Yeah, it's great. Thoroughly
And
enjoy it.
what are you hoping to see over the course of the day?
More people like us, just
Ideas.
out having a nice time. and
People are
ideas
helpful.
as to how to dress. Etc.
People are helpful because I was buying a jacket and I was going to make it button up, and he said no, leave it open. Buy a jacket that doesn't button.
Make a feature
I didn't
of the
know that.
waistcoat.
So did you make a lot of what you are both wearing today, or
Made a couple of things, just sort of decorated the hats and stuff like that. That's about it.
did you get a few bits and pieces online, or did you get them from your last visit through?
All over the place. Online,
And here.
various other places, Quite a few different places.
Right, how often do you come to Whitby Goth weekend?
Every year when I can. Yeah, definitely.
Well, you've got a much more modern outfit than a lot of people I've been talking to today, especially the hair. Where do you generally get your stuff?
All over the place. Second-hand shops, eBay, other things that people have recommended to me, like geisha wigs, but I don't think they're there now. I've just been collecting it since university, and I have a massive collection that I just mix and match.
Do you dress a wee bit different every year?
Yeah, I do. I always wear the pink wigs or the blue wigs because you don't see many of them, and I just mix it up with the makeup.
Yeah. It's excellent. What do you recommend locally for anyone coming for the first time?
Don't worry too much because you're always going to see more than what you've probably got at home, so don't worry about going mad and buying everything from Wish or things as fast as possible, because by the time you leave you've got a shopping list longer than your arm. Which is just fantastic because we brought our friends this year and it's their first year, so they're now no longer Gothic Whitby virgins, so don't worry, just come and have fun.
Well, we've certainly seen a lot of Gothic pets, Gothic children, and a lot of people that just come up just for the event and don't usually dress up until they arrive. Would you suggest that it is good for just about everybody?
Yes, it is. If you're not adventurous and you don't want to dress up, just come and have a look at the other people who are. You just come to see all the diversity, because there's no such thing as a goth.
And is that the best way to convert your friends?
Pretty much, yes.
How many times have you been to Whitby Goth weekend?
10.
10?
Yeah.
So you're a proper regular up here?
Yes.
So what would you recommend first time comers look at first?
They need to go around all the stalls, get a few beers, and let their hair down and get out and do a bit of posing. People love it. You know.
People watching seems to be a really big thing here, which is great.
Yes.
Do you think that's one of the best things of the
I
proper
think it is.
promenading?
I think it is for the likes of me. Some of the real goths don't like it, but you know, I think it's intruding on what they do. But there's a lot of outsiders coming and doing different things now, which is spoiling it for me. Like, I wish there was a lot more young goths, emos and people like that, doing it more often.
Do you find it's quite a good mixture of different types of gothy and punky styles?
Yes, I do. Yeah, yeah. All goes with the age groups. You know what I mean? So yes, it is good.
What's your favourite part of the weekend? What brings you back?
Oh, it's hard to say. I used to come doing photography, but then we came for a bit of daft fun and we got dressed up, and that was it. We were out. So I don't. Good morning. How are you? He's one of the traders. So we just come down and enjoy it all.
Yes.
Meet people. We go all over the country meeting people, so it's good fun. Socialising.
And you sport quite a mixture. You've got your leather, and then you've got your kilt in there, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm especially fond of the kilt, of course. But
Oh well, of course. It's my knees.
And you've got your top hat as well.
Yes.
That's quite well decorated. Do you tend to just pick things up from the markets? Or do you...
Yes, I tend to. It's easier to do that but I do make stuff for me steampunk.
Yes?
Yeah.
Do you go to the steampunk weekends as well?
Yes. We go to Lincoln, Haworth, everywhere. We go all over.
Oh, why don't you tell us your name first of all?
Hi, I'm Becca Gould. I live in Edinburgh and I'm down at the Whitby Goth weekend this weekend.
Is it your first time selling stuff in Goth?
It's my second time.
Your second
time. But it's warmer this year.
Well, tell us a little bit about what you make.
I make wire spiders and insect and spider webs, and I studied ecology so I'm coming at it from that angle rather than the art angle. So my creatures tend to have a little more life in them than a lot of others, which sometimes is a bad thing. I get complaints they're too lifelike.
Have you been in wire crafting long?
About 20 years. Yes, I'm doing it a long time.
And you tend to do quite well at the weekends like this? You go in quite a lot of events?
Yes, it's nice to come to somewhere where you can dress up and have a bit of fun, as well as more standard craft fairs.
So I can see you've already attached a lot to your hat
Yes.
as well. That's brilliant. Where do you usually sell your stuff? Is it online or?
I have a website of Becca's Insects at Etsy, and I live in Edinburgh, so I do a lot of local shows like the Edinburgh Fringe up there. beccasinsects.etsy.com.
How many times have you been to Whitby Goth weekend?
Really, for about the last 8 years.
Yes?
Yeah, off and on. And also, if you want to know, 4 years we got married at the Goth weekend.
Yeah?
Yeah. So it's a bit of an anniversary for us as well, you see.
So it's extra special for you?
Oh, yes.
And do you dress up every time?
Oh, yeah. That's the Goth weekend, isn't it?
Of course. Yeah. Well, being a regular, you'd know what sort of things would you recommend to first-time comers to Whitby?
Have a good look.
Yeah.
And anything goes. You know, don't be frightened to do what you want. You know. I mean, if you look at him there, I mean, he'll dress up what he wants, look. So,
Very, very true.
yeah, and he's good. Yeah.
Did you get most of your things from the local markets, or do you kind of
No, all over the
put some
place.
stuff together? Yeah.
Yeah, all over the place, yeah. Different. It's cheap enough to do, you don't have to spend a fortune. You go to charity shops or you go online. Let's face it, there's your online auction, isn't there, as well, so
Yes.
you can get it from where you want. And there's no set rules. Well, there isn't, in my opinion, anyway. So, yeah.
I think you're mostly kind of sporting a bit of the Victorian look, but a little bit of a mixture there, which is quite
Correct.
nice.
Yeah, well, I like the Victoriana as well, anyway.
Yeah, you were born in 1897.
Yeah, that feels like it sometimes as well,
We
yeah.
like it all his life.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So what do you think is the best thing to see in Whitby during the Goth weekend?
Everybody.
Yeah. Everybody? People watching?
People watch. Also, you've got the Abbey, don't forget. And you've
Yes.
got the whole ambience of Whitby. I mean, Whitby's a famous town, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's not just people who come here for the Goth weekend.
Is it all year round?
No, yeah, all the year round. We do. Yeah, yeah. We come up here quite often. We don't live in Whitby, but we only live an hour away. So well, he does. Yeah. So yeah.
So you're quite happy to go dress like that around all the time?
Yeah.
Good, good. I like to hear it.
Why not? I mean, in Whitby you can get away with it. I mean, if you walked in some city centres, or I'll rephrase that, if you walked in some towns dressed, they'd look at you strange. But in this day and age, you can get away with blue murder, can't you?
Whitby and Brighton, isn't there?
Yeah.
Get away with it, Brighton.
Yeah, you can get away with it, so why not? I mean, you come here in the middle of summer and you see somebody walking past dressed in black, so why not?
Absolutely. Okay, how often have you been to the Whitby Goth weekend?
About 3 or 4 times, haven't we? No, about 4 times.
Yeah. What would you recommend for anyone coming to the area for the first time? What was best to look at first?
I think going up to the Abbey.
Yeah, the
Well,
Abbey. No,
the
but it's
Abbey,
all
the
above,
Abbey,
it's
yeah.
amazing, yeah.
Oh, I like the tight bodysy things with.
Nigel.
You know what I mean, don't you?
Of course, of course. Don't we all love those?
Ow!
How do you decide what to wear? I mean, there's so many different styles going all around. How do you pick what you're going to put your outfit together?
Look, this is a railway jacket
Ah, so it is.
from the 1970s. You're not from round here, are you?
No, of course
You
not.
talk funny.
I do. I'm up from Glasgow, I'm afraid. So it's a first thing for me.
I'll
so-
be Jesus. She's from Ireland.
Look, you're all sporting
He's posh.
the Victorian garb predominantly.
Yeah.
You're a bit
Yeah.
more piratey right now.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But everything's just made up from like charity shops and just
Do you save a lot on the outfits that way?
yeah, bits of jewellery and things. Yeah.
Do you pick a lot of it up at the markets around here in the stalls
No,
around here?
not
or
really.
Predominantly
Not
charity
really.
shops?
No, we don't.
You got that from the charity shop at home not long ago, that art. It's lovely, isn't that? And these are my building boots from about 20 years ago, and they were white because I'd used them so much. And she's put black boot polish on, they come up all right.
Well, do you guys mostly do the wandering round and the people watching, or
Yeah,
do you like
yeah.
a bit of the music scene and stuff at night?
Well, we've not really been to the music scene, have we?
No,
Because
I've been to a pub.
Yeah.
I like beer.
Quite right. Is there quite a lot of good pubs to go to in the area?
Oh,
Anywhere you'd recommend
There's a
for anyone?
plethora. There's a
Where
small
did you
one
go
down
last?
there. And Saturday night.
Orders at quarter to 11.
10.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, things do seem to shut here quite early. I've noticed that.
And then we got to there in a panic, and then we had to change the barrels. And I thought, good grief, it's 10:30. We're going to get a pint, and then so they're open till 2 o'clock. I thought, hey, weird place. He doesn't say much, does he?
No, that's the cameraman. I'm afraid he's got to focus.
Oh, it's one of them that when you move it round, it goes, oh, right, yeah.
It's
dead
very
cool,
handy.
yeah.
Well, what would you recommend to any newcomers of where to look? What's the best things other than just the Abbey? Would you say the daytime is the best time to be out and about as well?
It is if the weather's good. Like
Yeah.
today, it's just fantastic.
Yep.
And the steam railway's good as well, but you can't do
Oh
everything.
yeah. We
We've
went
done
on
the steam railway before, it was brilliant. Had some great photographs.
Yeah,
didn't it?
on the Goth Express, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Oh, it's fantastic.
That was a few years ago though. We stood at the front and all the steam came out, you could just see the top half of me in the steam. Really good photograph.
Yeah, it was really cool.
How did you guys first find out about the Goth weekend?
I think I've known about it for years, but never really been here. And then it was just like, let's do it one year. And
We're not goths, we just got dressed up.
Well,
Yeah, you just love the event?
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think that's part of what makes it so fun. People feel
Yeah.
happier to dress up.
And everyone's
like
really
this.
friendly as well, and just the outfits. It's just great. It's just so interesting.
Good laugh.
How many times have you been to Whitby Goth weekend?
This will be our 10th year. We come twice a year on each occasion, and each time try and wear something a little different.
What would you recommend to someone coming for the first time?
Have a good look around and see all the different outfits, get inspiration, maybe dress up yourself a little bit, start off small like me and my wife did, and then you work your way up from there.
How did you find out about the Goth weekend the first time round?
Was up here on a day trip. It was my wife's birthday, I think, or somewhere near. We came up on a day trip and we saw people dressed in the way that we like to dress as well, and thought, wow, let's look into it. We've both been into sort of gothy stuff since the 80s, but we didn't know this was around until about 10-12 years ago, and then we just got really into it, got to know a lot of people in groups, and yeah, we really enjoy it.
And you say you try something a little different every time, but how do you get the inspiration together for your outfits?
I have my wife. She's my inspiration. I have brief ideas of something I've seen, somebody else has worn, or idea off a TV programme or a film, and I say to my amazing wife, who's great with a needle and a thread and eBay, and say, what can you do with this idea? And she comes up with the masterpieces, like a beautiful mask. And she did all mine for me.